Hey, my friend, are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the War Plan Briefing. My name is Josh, and today we're going to talk about 5 things that you should look for in your next mentor. Very, very important. You know, we're all standing on the shoulders of giants, and if you want to go really, really fast, you can collapse time by connecting with and learning from and sitting at the feet of a mentor. I believe personally that all of us should be a mentor to someone and have a mentor until we're dead. I think learning should never stop. I think if you think you figured it out, you're definitionally an idiot, because no one's figured anything out, which is why Aristotle said, the only thing I know is that I know nothing. Now, several years ago, I was trying to build my software company, SendJim. It's a direct mail automation service. It's one of my businesses. And the business was struggling. It was floundering. It was on the brink of collapse, to be honest. And I had went 6 years working full time on this business, not making any money. I never took a dollar out in profit. And I was at my wit's end. And so what did I do? I hired a mentor. His name is Russell Brunson. Maybe you've heard of him. He has a company called ClickFunnels. I didn't know a lot about Russell. I heard a podcast interview with him. I was on a beach in Costa Rica. I had sold another company, and I was trying to figure out what I didn't understand about this software game, because the business model of software was completely different. And so I needed a high-ticket mentor. So even though I had a knot in my stomach, I wired $25,000 to a stranger on the internet, desperately hoping that he would help me fix the business. To keep a long story short, he did. And within 90 days of me getting mentorship for him, the business started to turn around. We had $250,000 in a 30-day window that really injected life back in and put us on the right path, literally because of a single Zoom call with Russell. So Russell, if you ever see this, thank you. I honor you. I appreciate you. It was amazing. In fact, we did over $4 million in new revenue 18 months after I hired him as a mentor. And there's lots of psychological reasons why that happened. It wasn't only that he told me the secret magical thing. It also has to do with belief in all this psychological stuff. It had to do with being in a room of other high achievers willing to spend a lot of money so they can go faster. And all of those things added together really changed that business. It saved the business. And if you're thinking about getting a mentor, here are 5 things you should consider. The first thing you need to consider if you're going to get a mentor is that they do and they teach. They don't just teach. Think of a college professor that's been teaching business for 35 years, but he's never ran a business. There's inherent problems with these theoretical theory people versus people in the trenches. You know, I would prefer that your next mentor runs real companies similar to the company that you're running, or at least they did run real companies similar to the business or industry that you're in. It's critically important, because the practical difference of knowing what it's like to do it versus theoretically reading a book and pretending like you know it, they're not the same thing at all, not even a little bit. And you know this because when you go to Thanksgiving with Uncle Larry and the friends and family around you that don't have businesses, all of them have lots of ideas and opinions. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you know what you should do? You should try this. Oh, I saw a guy at the store the other day. He said you should do this. They mean well, but they don't know what they're talking about. And the same thing can happen with a mentor. And when people are doing business and a part of their time is teaching business, there is way more value extracted for you, the person trying to learn, because they're in it. They have a different level of humility. They have a different level of understanding of the nuance and little tiny tweaks that could only be understood by doing it. The second thing that is critically important that you look for in your next mentor is that your mentor is always learning. They should not feel or have a vibe about them that they've quote unquote figured it out, right? If they have this arrogant kind of vibe about them, I don't like that. I would be very skeptical of that. It's okay if they have a high level of certainty. It's okay if they have a high level of confidence, but they should also be a student, because the truth is, like I said in the beginning of this video, is that the only thing I know is that I know nothing. And the more advanced someone is intellectually, the more aware they should be of their own misunderstandings of things, because everything that there is to know is so vast relative to the tiny speck of stuff any of us know. So if you have a mentor that's obsessed with learning, working on themselves, and you can see it, they're hungry, they're reading, they have a mentor, they're doing all these things, they attend conferences, they're also teachable. You can suggest something back to them and they receive it because they're a learner, they're an absorber of information. This is so valuable for you, because if they're further ahead than you, which they should be if they're going to be your mentor, and they're still learning and they're in learn mode, you get that ripple effect of all of the efforts that they're doing. They're going to have fresh ideas, current concepts to drip back down into your brain that you can apply and go faster with. And a lot of people that are consultants or people that consider themselves a business coach, which is gross. There's too many coaches in this world that are not qualified, but people that are like that, they learned something one time a long time ago, and they think they can like ride this wave of getting you to pay the money to tell you that one thing that they learned a long time ago. And it's just just terrible. It's not as good. So be really careful and ask questions when you're interviewing or doing research on your next mentor. Is this person obsessed with learning, or are they riding a wave that they started surfing 10 years ago? The third thing you need to consider is that they have mastery over a particular category of stuff. You do not want a generalist. You know, it's funny because sometimes people's brain shuts off when they hear advice from someone that rubs them the wrong way in a certain category. So for example, there might be someone who's a brilliant astrophysicist and that's their thing, but they're not funny and they have terrible jokes and they're socially awkward. But when it comes to astrophysicist stuff, they are like the man, top of the game, top of their field. And if they offend you over here, or if you think they're weird in this category of life, but really you need expertise on this, why does this matter, right? So you might have someone that's maybe not the best family man, but they're the perfect auto mechanic who understands all the nuance of the transmission and the gears and all the things. It's okay that they're not perfect in all these other categories, but they're a master of their specialty, right? So in your business, wherever you're struggling the most, it's going to be really helpful to you to not get a generalist who's like, oh yeah, I can help you with everything in your business. No, you want someone who has nerded out at a degree that's insane, that breaks your brain, who is so good at this one thing. They're a marketer. They are a systems person. They are a culture person or a mindset person. They have the proof. They're obsessed with learning, like I said before, but they have mastery over a category. Now, most mentors are going to have lots of good feedback for you in a variety of categories, right? But you want to try to find someone who has a superpower where you have a deficiency, where they have extra horsepower where you are running on fumes, right? Because you're going to go way, way faster. You know, a lot of people know a little bit about lots of things, but when it comes to hiring a mentor or paying a high-ticket coach or consultant to help you, make sure that they're a specialist wherever you're feeling the pain the most. The fourth thing you need to consider when hiring a mentor, you might not like this one, I'm giving you a warning, is that they need to be someone that's willing to charge a premium or does charge a premium. Yes, I want you to pay lots of money. Now, the phrase lots of money is relative, is subjective. Like, I don't know what that means to you, and it means a different thing to me than it does to you, but what it means is that just because someone is expensive, you should not like take them out. Instead of saying, I can't afford that person, say, how could I afford that person? And there's several reasons why you want to do this. I don't want you to waste money and just spend money you don't have just to do that, but you got to understand, if you found this obsessive learner who's actually doing and teaching, and they are like in the game, they have mastery over the thing that you need, and they have a high price of entry, this is like the table being set for you in your favor. You paying a lot of money, or what you feel is a lot of money, it makes your stomach hurt a little bit, you get a little knot in your stomach, that is a gift to you. There's a couple reasons why this matters. Number one, do you really want a mentor that doesn't know how to value their own expertise? No, because someday you're going to value your own expertise and you can mentor and begin to do that with people too. But the real reason, number two, is that when you invest at a high level, you consume what you're told at a high level. The way you consume the advice that they give you fundamentally changes. It literally changes. It's not even close to the same thing. If you have a company at all, there's probably people behind where you are right now that text you or message you or come up to you and say, hey man, can I pick your brain? Hey, let me buy you a cup of coffee. This happens. And at first it's flattering because you're like, wow, that's really cool. Someone thinks I'm smart. They're going to pick my brain. But you'll start to notice after you do this enough times that all these people picking your brain, almost none of them take transformational action on the stuff you told them to do. And you might tell them very clearly, oh, you need this and this and this. Go do these three things and get the result. And then they don't do it. Why? Why don't they do it? The reason they don't do it is because people that don't pay attention. Even YouTube technically probably has every answer you could ever want when it comes to growing your business, but it's kind of spread all over the place. But not only is it hard to find every little answer to all of your questions, but because it's free, people's brains operate differently with it. We don't value the way that it hits when it comes into our brain. When you pay a lot of money and you got that knot in your stomach, you execute at a bigger level, at a faster level, because you have to, because you need to, because you have to get that money back. You have to make a return on your investment, and it puts this positive pressure on you and rewards your mentor for their expertise. And last but not least, when you're considering getting a mentor or hiring a consultant or a coach, make sure that you find someone who's willing to be abrasive with you. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpen another, right? We want some friction. You don't want a yes man. You know, there's a lot of these like 22-year-old Instagram life coaches, which by the way, what even is that? What's a life coach? It's a giant second category, like that's super dumb. But if you need a hired gun or a consultant who's a good marketer to help you fix and amplify your marketing, and you pay them a bunch of money and they meet all the criteria, you also want someone who's willing to tell you when you're wrong. You don't want someone who constantly coddles you and tries to spoon feed you and makes you feel better about yourself. You want the truth. You need the truth as far as they can see it. Now, not every single thing a mentor tells you will necessarily be true, but because you paid a lot of money, you need to listen to what they say. And if they offend you, it's a gift to you because it means they're willing to offend you in an effort to help you. Are you willing to be offended so that you can get better? Are you willing to have your ego hit a little bit so that you can grow and get better? A lot of people are not willing to be bad at something so they can eventually be good at something. A lot of people want a mentor that's a yes man, that just tells them how great they are and how hard life is. And no, it's not your fault. Your market is different and your employees are so bad. I implore you to do the exact opposite of that. Find someone who is very pragmatic, who's straight to the point, who has no qualms about telling you, you're doing this totally wrong. You need to fix it and do these 3 things. Oh, and then you meet them 3 or 4 more times in a row and you're not fixing it. They say, listen, we're not having another phone call until you go do the thing I said, because you're just not doing it. You're hoping that there's some magical solution that's not going to show up. And we're not talking to you, go do the thing I said. Those types of awkward conversations are what separate greatness in terms of coaching consulting from everybody else. What's awesome about paying a high ticket consultant is that they have leverage over you. And it's leverage over you in a way that benefits you because they don't need you. And if you pick the right one, they're independently wealthy already. They're way further ahead of you. It doesn't change their life if you do what they say or not, but it certainly could change yours because now you're up to here in the cost of it, the commitment to it. They're a little bit abrasive, in love to help you go faster. Can you see how powerful this is? This is what you want. Hey, if you're getting value out of these videos, let me know. Type in a comment. Tell me your story. Where are you from? I read all the comments because we don't have that many subscribers yet. We're the best kept secret on YouTube, I think. And I want to make content that you want to consume that's going to inspire and encourage you and your entrepreneur family. And subscribe, like, and don't forget to share it with someone who might need to hear this. Maybe you know someone that's kind of looking for a mentor. Send them the video. That helps me a ton and it could certainly help them a ton. And until next time, see you in the next video.